Hey, how's it going? I thought I would do a little demo of the Electro-Harmonics Silencer. It's a noise gate and an effects loop. It's got 3 controls, which you should be seeing right now on screen. It's got a release control, a reduction, and a threshold. I'm going to try it in a couple of different ways. I'm going to try it just as enhancing a clean sound, just getting rid of the bare bottom little 60 cycle hum or drone that goes on, any little random noises. I'm going to try it for just a normal sort of lead, and then I'm going to see if it can do the modern tight metal thing. And then we're going to try to use it as an effects loop because I'm interested in that feature. I'm not sure how it's going to be implemented with the noise gate itself. We're going to find out. First of all, let's walk through the controls, and then we'll get to trying it out with a clean sound and see if it gets rid of just the bottom line noise. I'm specifically using my Schecter Strat with single coils, which is important because single coils are really noisy, which means it's perfect to test a noise gate. And then I'm using the preamp of my Supro combo. I'm not miking up the cab. I'm using a line out and using a cab simulation in my computer. And this is a great amp, really beautiful sounding, but can be a little noisy, especially with this guitar, which has single coils. So it's the perfect case scenario to test out how much noise you can get away with. Let's see how much noise we already have in the signal, just with a basic clean sound. I'm going to turn it off. And now you can hear we've got a little bit of noise in the signal. And you can see if I move around, maybe towards my computer, towards a light, we get more and more strange sounds. It's currently off. It's in all the single coil positions on my guitar. The bridge, the neck, and the middle. They've all got some hum. So I've already got it set up in a spot where for clean, if I turn this on, it's gone. And the best way to test it clean is not necessarily to play leads, as much as it is to just hold a chord really long and see how much noise creeps back into the signal. So I'm just going to play, I don't know, something like this. You can hear the hum coming back in. But that's pretty acceptable, especially if, let's say, we put some reverb on it. I'm going to use the spring reverb on my amp. Doing a pretty good job of this task. And again, I'm testing pretty much the worst case scenario. I'm on a single coil. This is a relatively noisy amp. It's a tube amp. And I'm not using the combined positions, which cancel hum a lot more. I'm not on humbuckers or anything like that. Obviously, with this pedal, if you were using humbuckers or if you're using a combined position, the hum is going to virtually go away, especially with something like a humbucker or a active pickup. But I'm trying to see just how good this unit is for a specific use case. And I'll test it with a pair of humbuckers as well later to see what that would sound like. Let's try middle. Neck pick up. As you can see, with some reverb, you're doing a pretty good job of getting rid of noise that you would have like that. If I move my guitar over here, even noisier because I'm towards the light, doesn't matter, gets rid of it. Again, comes in if I'm pointing my guitar that way, but with a little magic, maybe some delay or something, or some verb. If you wanted to, for leads or something, or for like a really, really transparent noise reduction kind of job on something like a humbucker that doesn't have that much noise, but could use just an edge down, maybe the release being a little bit longer would be better. But for me, I tend to like noise gates just, hey, turn it off as soon as I stop playing. Because it sounds like I have noiseless pickups, even if I'm playing something like a really noisy single coil. So once again, clean, noise gate off. You hear the hum, turn it on. No reverb, no nothing, something funky. So task one, clean, just taking off the bottom drone, doing a pretty good job. So now let's try a normal lead using the preamp in my Supro. This will be more of a vintagey, maybe an Eric Johnston or a Jeff Beck kind of sound. Not a modern lead with super high amounts of gain, but enough to get some sustain and get the job done. Now you can hear there's a lot more hum. You can hear, even with it on, depending on where I have my guitar, the hum comes back. And I can turn this knob up and get rid of it. You can see if I go down all the way, it comes back in. So you don't even have to peg it all the way. You can just get enough to where it reads mostly as noiseless. And I kind of recommend doing that so that you get the most sustain. And honestly, find the threshold by like just slowly going to the point where the noise knocks out. You'll hear it. It'll be noise, and then it'll be gone. And then just kind of like fine tune it from there, and that'll be the best setting. So as you can hear, it's doing a pretty good job. There's definitely still some noise. And if I let a note ring out, it's going to get pretty bad as the distortion, the overdrive, is boosting the note very high up, which is boosting the noise up as well. And the noise gate is not closing yet. And then you can hear there's a hard cutoff. Now, If you're playing lead, maybe you won't use that much sustain, or you'll have reverb or delay on it and that'll help cover it. But you can see there's still going to be noise in there. And it doesn't matter if I'm playing with my fingers or a pick. So task 2, the whole lead thing, doing a pretty good job. I would still say that's a pass. Now let's see if it can do the metal thing. That's going to be task 3. I'm going to bypass the super amp entirely and just do a amp model within my computer of a modern high gain lead thing. I'm going to try it with this guitar, and then I'm going to try it with a guitar with humbuckers, and we're going to see what happens. That's pretty good for a pair of single coils. It's doing the job. And then let's say we wanted to get a lead or something. Hey, that's not bad. I know a lot of people in the modern metal scene are keeping their noise gates for lead a lot tighter than that. And I don't really like that. I like a good amount of sustain. That seems to be working. Again, worst case scenario, I'm using single coils. And then you just hear it coming out a little bit, but with verb and delay, I think I would give that a pass. Even live, maybe studio, that would pass too. Yeah. You can hear a couple of moments there. My notes are getting cut off a little bit from my legato playing. So it's good. There's a couple inconsistencies. I feel like if I were to use this live, I would probably back down the threshold a little bit more so that my legato playing doesn't get cut off. And it's still catching mostly everything. That's a pass. I would use that, even with single coils. So we've tested basically the worst case scenario. You got single coils, you're using a noisy tube amp. You try it with cleans, takes care of the job, good enough. You try it with some vintage leads, does the job. And you try it with a modern amp modeler with a modern metal or lead type of sound, also does the job. That's basically all the jobs it could do. I've also got lights and cameras and a computer right next to me. So that's adding all kinds of weird noise into the signal as well. I think while this is not going to get rid of everything, and no one should be fooled into thinking that it will do that, it will bring it to a level of passable that it'll always be like, yep, that's good enough. It's not going to eliminate entirely. It's not like it's got some sort of sophisticated digital processing. It is still a noise gate, meaning that it isn't smart. There's no analyzing the signal and removing it that way. It's just, hey, it's dropping below a certain volume level and it's going to cut it off so there isn't noise. It's just doing that. It's simple, but it's doing a very good job of that sort of technology. So I'll grab a guitar with humbuckers and we'll demo those options very quickly just to show that it would be even more improved with a pair of humbuckers. And then lastly, I'll see about the effects loop option because I don't really know how that's going to interact with the noise gate. I'm going to have to see. Okay, here is my Charvel. It's got Fishman Fluence Classics, not moderns, classics, and they are humbuckers. They've got single coil mode, but I'm just going to use them in the modern voiced humbucker mode. And here it is with the electroharmonic silencer turned off on a Revv Gen Red lead type sound. So you can hear there's some noise. Again, there's no noise gate in Helix, so this is as if I were using the amp with no noise processing whatsoever. And then let's kick this on. We got a little bit of noise there. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Let's try like a really high note with a long sustain. A little bit of weird stuff kicking in. Again, let's find if there's a position where my noise has less, where my room has less noise. Seems like facing this way is pretty good. And then let's try it for like a non-lead. I think that's a pass too. Again, for rhythm, you're probably gonna crank that up. You're gonna get it real tight. Something like that. That's pretty juicy. That's tight. So there you go. Tested it out pretty good. This is definitely a useful tool for noise reduction. I don't think it's going to eliminate it. You're always going to have a little bit of noise there, especially if you hold out a note. Doesn't matter if you're on humbuckers. Doesn't matter if you're on active. Doesn't matter if you're on single coil. As you hold out the note, some noise is going to enter. Again, I'm in a very noisy scenario with a computer right next to me, lights, screens, monitors. But that's a good way to test if you go to a venue and they've got terrible power. Or maybe you're a bedroom musician and you don't have treated power, or you've got a gaming PC or something like that and you've got noise. I think my point is that even if you have something like that, it'll probably get the job done. Just throw it in front or after if you don't have a verb or a delay coming after it, and it'll take care of it. So lastly, I'm going to try the effects loop. Okay, so you can see now I've got an additional cable coming out of it, the send. Not anything in the return yet because, and this is a very interesting way to use this, you can just use this as a signal splitter. Now, the signal split won't have the noise processing. It has to go through it first to do that. But that's cool to have basically two versions of your signal that can be sent off to different things for even stereo processing. So I've got my amp coming out of the signal, and this is going to my Supro amp that I just had earlier. And it works. The signal is split. It's a second version of the signal, and it doesn't have the noise processing. Now, what I could do is you could almost think of this Supro as like a pedal in of itself. I could take the line out of this, and I can hear that it's coming out of my amp With noise, the noise gate isn't in line because it's just coming straight from the input out through the effects end. But that's cool because I now have a split signal, because if I turn the volume up on this, I've got both happening. I've got the amp in my DAW and I've got my super amp. So it's split. And now I'm utilizing the full features of the pedal by having the noise gate on, and I'm using the effects return. So what I'm doing is in my DAW now, I've got the input going into just a clean amp, but the send is going out to my super amp, basically acting like kind of like a preamp drive pedal, sort of. So you can hear, if I get some more signal going, I'm on the boost and the drive on this amp. You can hear there's noise because I've got the threshold, even though it's on, I've got the threshold and the reduction all the way down. So if I turn some reduction on, let's just do all the way and then slowly. Raise it until it goes away. So now I've got the Supro drive and the effects loop. Again, this is a clean amp sound. I could turn the drive off. It's coming from only the amp. So cool. Tested all the features. Nice handy little pedal. Lots of features for a noise gate. Check it out. EHX Silencer.